So this session would be taken up by Mr. Saurabh Datta and Ms. Srimani. So let me introduce both the presenters to you. So Saurabh is a senior solution architect at Impetus StreamAnalytics, where he heads multiple engineering and R&D efforts. Saurabh carries over 15 years of experience and is one of the early team members who has bootstrapped StreamAnalytics. If I let you all know about Srimani, then she is senior technical architect having experience of around 15 years, out of which 10 years, more than 10 years actually is in telecom domain and other 5 years is in big data and cloud technologies. Her area of expertise is also in big data, Spark and cloud technology. So I would request Saurabh and Srimani to please be there on the video and share the slides.
Thanks, Sharbi. Let me just share my screen.
Sure. Meanwhile, a quick reminder to the attendees that please be sure that you are putting down and posting your questions in the Q&A section. We will be happy to take them up during the session.
Yeah, just want to make sure. Just give me. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, give me a minute. Yes, Saurabh, we are all set.
All right. So hello, everyone. Very good afternoon. Welcome to this session. I'm going to take up StreamAnalytix. This is a product by Impetus Technologies. The way we describe this product is this is self-service data flow and analytics platform. So here you would see that the words we have chosen are, self-service. So the idea that we would get is, you really are not dependent a lot on the technical folks. You can do a lot of stuff yourself. What it does is it caters to the data flow part of things. So what it does is you have multiple sources where you have data. You collect that data, process it, and then eventually it is either stored into some sort of a system or it is consumed by downstream applications. So these data flow, or another word that we frequently use is pipelines. So these data flows or pipelines are developed in a very visual, intuitive manner in a self-service fashion is what this product does. And additionally, you can also do a lot of analytics or data science on this platform. We are going to have a look at this in detail in the further slides and the demo as well. So let me just take you through. So overall, when we talk about data, this data actually exists in a lot of different sources. A lot of different systems today are generating the data. For example, you might have social media platforms generating the data. You might have systems or machines that are generating logs. You might have in a factory various types of equipments generating ticker events. In form, IoT devices could be generating IoT related events. So you have data coming in from all different types of sources, and this data is either in real-time streams, or you might have batch stored data that you might have to consume, let's say, at specific intervals. So these are the type of data that we typically consume and process in StreamAnalytix. Now, often what happens is in a lot of existing system, you can just pull in the data and store. That is the way of working today. But in StreamAnalytix, what you can also do is you can plug and play machine.
Saurabh, you're not audible. Saurabh, can you please recheck your network? However, your screen is visible.
Sorry, I think that. Okay. Just give me a second.
Sure.
think I got dropped for a while. Sure. I don't know how far you heard me, so I'll just, quickly give you an overview. So I was talking about the different types of data, whether it is, coming in streaming fashion or you have data lying in that you want to process. So typically what happens is in the current systems that we today have in the market, you can read the data and you can maybe apply certain transformations and store the data eventually. But in StreamAnalytics, what you can also do is you can also now plug and play machine learning algorithms while the data is in motion. So that's a major advantage because it really as a user or as an enterprise, what happens is you do not have to wait for the entire data to first get loaded into some sort of a data store and only then apply algorithms. But you can apply these kind of machine learning algorithms while the data is in motion. And as I was mentioning earlier, you get a very beautiful visual interface for dragging and dropping operators, and you can just build your data pipelines visually on the interface. What happens is, as a user, our job is not just building the pipeline, but there is an entire application lifecycle that is associated. So you start very small, maybe just with just two operators where you may just read the data and store it, versus and eventually what you may do is you may keep on adding multiple operators, and finally your pipeline may have multiple such operators. And what happens is this is one part where you are doing the development, right? So you might be interested in creating different versions in your development environment. Then whatever you have created in the developer environment, you may want to then push this into production. And then once the data is in production, you may want to then monitor stuff. So there is an entire application lifecycle which is associated with any such development. So this entire life cycle is also taken care of. So you are not just building these kind of data flows or pipelines in the platform, but you are in fact taking care of the entire life cycle of your pipelines or data flows that you are creating. So this is like a very high level overview of what the platform does. If I could just take you through some of the use cases, or a very 10,000 feet overview of the architectural blueprint of what the platform looks like. So you will see here that on the left hand side we have all the data publishers, where we have both structured, unstructured, and as I was mentioning earlier, machine data or social media data that is consumed. And this data is then consumed by various different, I would say, profiles of people in an enterprise. So a developer might be doing different stuff on this data. Similarly, a data scientist might be looking at this data very differently. A business analyst knows, let's say, the problem to solve end to end. He might be looking at data differently. And then once the entire data is processed and let's say pushed into production, then it is the responsibility of the DevOps folks to actually take care of making sure that whatever is in production runs smoothly and then there are no glitches. So what I was coming to was so all these different profiles of people, usually they work on different set of tools, and they use different, I would say, software to make this kind of a use case possible. But in StreamAnalytics, all these different people could come together in one unified product, and they all could work together to achieve the entire stuff. Now, the kind of use cases that typically we can solve very easily include, the first one is, let's say, landing and ingestion here, right? So this is the simplest of all. So you just read from a data source, and you may want to, in some cases, apply minimal transformation on this coming data, and finally the data is pushed into some sort of a data store. So this is one of the use case, right? Then the second one could be, you may just want to explore what's there in the data. So you might just connect to a source. You may want to see, what are the different attributes coming in, what is the relationship between these attributes. And once you do that, you may also realize that, okay, there are certain issues. Let's say there are a lot of null values in a particular attribute, right? So you may want to fix those, or in certain cases, you may want to connect to an external source and enrich the data. So all these, wrangling, preparation, transformation can be very easily done visually over the interface as well, or interface only. And we already talked about analytics and machine learning, so you can apply very useful algorithms. And finally, you can store all of this into some sort of an enterprise data store. So these are typically some of the use cases that can be very easily achieved on StreamAnalytics. And once you have the data in the enterprise data store, on the right hand side, you can see that you could do exploratory analysis and discovery. Again, once you have the data, you can integrate with downstream applications, and you could do build or create predictive analytics applications. You could connect to other enterprise applications that you already have, which might be consuming data that you have just processed. So all those, I would say, adapters to these applications are already available. Now, as we already talked, if I look at the top hand side, you can build both real-time and batch applications on StreamAnalytics. And finally, if I look at the bottommost part of this entire screen, you can do provisioning. You can take care of very complex workflows where you may want to process data on a certain schedule, or you may want to orchestrate multiple such pipelines. All of that is very easily possible as well. And then, as we were again discussing, once you have the application in production, you may just want to monitor that application, and enterprise security on and all that stuff is already very well taken care of in the application. And the final slide that I really want to emphasize is this is a product which is used by Fortune companies, and we are also recognized by all the major analysts of the world, be it Gartner, Forrester, Aragon, Datanami. So all the analysts have very highly rated StreamAnalytics for usage in real-time processing and machine learning in not just Fortune enterprise, but also a lot of startups who want to explore and very quickly build prototypes. Those things are also possible. So with this, I would like to invite Srimani to take care of the demo and the subsequent slides that we want to present. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Saurabh. I'll quickly share. Let me know if it's visible.
Yes, it is.
Sure. Yeah, so to give a functional overview of StreamAnalytics, as Saurabh has just discussed, you can build both batch and stream processing pipelines using StreamAnalytics. And the kind of applications that you can build, you can build ETL applications. You can build applications just for ingesting data from various sources and various formats into your own data warehouse, or you can create analytics or ML applications. You can run your models over the data that you're ingesting, and you can build any other applications that your business needs. And we can also have some applications like CDC applications that capture your change data. So together with this, the platform also supports complete DevOps lifecycle. So you can, after building your application, you can maintain, monitor, and tune your applications. And the platform also provides support for development and debugging your applications as you walk through the self-service data flow. So there's also support for CI/CD here. So as and when you develop and your new changes come up, you can retest your application and deploy it and promote it to a production like environment, from your dev environment to test and then promote it to production. All of this functionality is provided using built-in drag and drop operators, as we'll see in the demo. But it's not limited to the drag and drop operators. If anybody wants to extend it, they want to use it for their own purposes, there is an extension API available. So they can write their own logic there and then register it with the platform. So once the operator is registered with the platform, it is available like seamlessly like when any other built-in operator. To give you the whole picture here, the whole architecture of StreamAnalytix. Usually, data is captured from multiple places. It could be logs, it could be, from a CDC application, from an Apache NiFi or your IoT clickstreams. All of these data sources, data is captured and they land in a landing zone somewhere. Either if it's streaming data, it could be Kafka, JMS, or it could be a file system like HDFS or object storage like S3 or Google Cloud Storage. So you have all these various places where data lands into, and they can also be in different formats like JSON, XML, Avro, or these different formats. And what StreamAnalytix helps you is to, using the built-in drag and drop operators, you can quickly look at the data and build your application using the Visual Studio. And you can actually connect to all of these various data sources, correlate the data, and then apply transformations over the data. You can also actually do quality check of the data, and then apply some analytics over the data. There is a whole suite of ML operators. So you can actually apply your models over the data that you have and quickly see what actually is transforming, how the data is transforming, how the data is flowing through these operations. And then finally, you can store the data into various sinks. Again, you can choose, according to the business needs, you can choose your data sink. And you can store it in a way that can further be used by downstream applications or BI tools, any such things. So together with this rich feature, we also have administration. So you can administration of multi-tenancy. You can have manage your users, and then you can actually also have audit facility on what are the events that are occurring in your application. You can create workflows using the pipelines, that you've created. So if you want to, create, have one pipeline run after certain event, all of those orchestration of workflows is also possible. So there's also support for data sets, where you can register a data set. You can actually run a profiling on the data set, so you can see how your data looks like. So it's all about data and how you can visualize the application that you've created. Underneath, when you actually run the application, it is using open source processing engines like Spark. And also we have support for future options like Flink also. The applications that you build using StreamAnalytics, you can run either on-premise or on cloud, or also on hybrid environments. So we offer a strong cloud ecosystem, so you can run it on managed clusters like Amazon EMR or Google Dataproc, and you can also run it on Hadoop distributions like Hortonworks or Cloudera and Mapr. So here is a view of the UI. We'll go actually look at it in the demo, but just to give you a view of how the UI looks like, here you have a data pipeline where you've designed using the drag and drop operators right here, where you can choose the channels, the processors that you want to use for transforming the data, and the emitters. The platform supports the entire data lifecycle, right? Of data science lifecycle. So you can actually perform exploratory data analysis. We have embedded notebook, Jupyter Notebook IDE there. So you can visualize your data, and you can explore the data that you have. And then you can also, using the operators, that StreamAnalytics provides, you can train the models on the data, and then you can actually score your, the data score, or you can do model scoring on the data, either on static or on real-time workflows. To further help you, you can actually use the built-in algorithms that we have. It's based on Spark or H2O or scikit models. All of these algorithms are supported, and we also support real-time swapping of the data. So if your pipeline is running, and you would like to use a newer version of your model, then you can actually replace the model with a new one. As mentioned before, we have this DevOps capabilities where we use Git and Jenkins integration. So you can save your pipelines, and you can continuously integrate the changes that you've done, and also deploy it onto your different environments that you are working with. So all in all, StreamAnalytics provides a unique offering with which it's an enterprise grade platform that supports multi-tenancy based on open source. Multi-engine support is there, and because of its visual interface, it reduces time to market when it comes to preparing your applications. And quickly go over to a demo here. So here I've logged into our application StreamAnalytics, and here is the data pipeline that I've already prepared and kept ready. So here this is the New York City cab trip analysis use case. So where you have a data about the trips that New York City cabs take, and I'm just trying to figure out all the locations from where maybe the airport pickups are being made. So so I'm just going to focus on the visualizing the data part here. So I've already kept it ready. So here you can see that I'm taking data from HDFS location. So when you So when you look at the inspect of the eye icon over here, you can actually see what is the data that you are working with. So so here is the data that we are working with, and in the profile pane here, you can look at a profile of the data that for sample data that we've taken here is 100 records. So you can see that we have all of these unique values in the data that we have here. So you'll see that now we have 3 vendor IDs, 1, 2, and there's no vendor ID in some of the data, so it's showing it as null. So in the next component, we are just trying to filter out some data that we don't need. So if vendor ID is null, we want to filter it out. So when you look at that, you'll see that the data is filtered out by adding this operator. So similarly, you can build your pipeline visually, and finally you can do a join with multiple data. You can enrich data by getting maybe if you have your location data in a JDBC table or RDBMS table, so you can just get that and enrich the data over there. We can do a data quality check. You can only process data that you need, and then send the unnecessary ones to an error queue. So all of this is visually possible, and when you actually save this pipeline, and you can run it on any cluster, either on the cloud or on premise, to get the results. So now back. Yeah, so we've built many use cases for customers. Just to give you a very quick overview, so we have had fraud detection cases where we can build a ML fraudulent transactions in real time. We are able to show. You can just see a quick view of a dashboard that we had built, where in real time you see where exactly there is anomalies or fraudulent transactions taking place. Other use cases are in the airline industry, fraud detection of in the consumer operations division, or how are they erroring out, how can we monitor these fares that are in error, or how are people searching for to buy tickets, how are they actually searching the shopping path, actually path to buy the tickets. So all of these analysis can be done. You can build use cases easily and using StreamAnalytics Visual Studio. So here we also would like to offer a trial version here. There is a cloud offering in AWS marketplace. If you go and search for StreamAnalytics, you can get a free cloud trial for 15 days. And there's also a single node desktop version available. So you can just visit StreamAnalytix.com, and you can download a single node desktop version and check it out. So you can also reach us as we had shown earlier in all of these platforms. And thank you. Is there, yeah, Surabhi, if there's anything we can.
Sure. So, Shrima, I have received a couple of questions. Let me pick just one out of that. Yes. So somebody wants to know like details on business or real-time usage of StreamAnalytix to be elaborated.
Saurabh, would you like to take that up, please?
Sorry, you're on mute.
Sorry, am I audible now?
Yes, I'm clear.
All right, sure. So what happens is StreamAnalytics is not any specific to any industry as such. So when we talk about use cases for that matter, this really has implementation on the vertical side across all the industries. I would say you could use this in telecom, you can use this in BFSI, manufacturing, and the use cases could also span across horizontally. So the marketing team as such could use it, or the operations team could use it. So for that matter, this is not, I would say, pointed to any specific industry. So the use cases as such, they really vary a lot. So for example, Srimani showed an example wherein, let's say, a taxi operator could use to optimize the path of their taxi. Similarly, in a manufacturing unit, you could just monitor the machines for predictive analytical use cases. In the banks, you may want to, use it for, let's say, whether to, give someone a loan or not, or maybe if somebody is using credit cards, you could monitor those events to check whether there are any financial frauds and all that stuff. So really, the use cases span across multiple industries. So this is just a framework, and the implementation or the way it is used is you just have to point to a data source, and then it completely depends on you to depends on you how to use the platform to solve your use case. But any processing scenario that you could think of could be very easily achieved through StreamAnalytics. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So there has been one more question during the session. I've received it. Let me know if it is like related to StreamAnalytics only. So does it support encryption through public and private keys to keep security up?
I mean, I don't know, but so definitely whenever you have to connect to, let's say, some sort of a source or store, or whenever you're reading or writing data, depending from where you are reading it, if that has, let's say, public-private key type of system in place, that these scenarios could come in picture, and yeah, in that case, we would support it as well.
Okay, great. Yeah. So that was it, which I had to share
Sure.
in Q&A section as of now. Thank you, Saurabh, and thank you, Srimani, for taking it up.
Yeah, thank you all for attending.
Yeah. So with this, we have come to an end of the event, and I would like to thank everyone, all the presenters and all the attendees of the day who have been here and who have presented and who have been so supportive in while sharing the questions. And I would really love to hear from you at one of our email IDs, which is pathmakers@impetus.com. You all can write back to us, can share your feedback, and thank you all for being here and being part of this event. Thank you.